I will take a little more of a review study. It's not something that I know a lot of. It's something I have looked into, and so therefore I maybe hope some of you also have some experience and can share, because then I can learn something about that. It's about LabVIEW UI testing of exe files, of executables. So when you have made a application, then how you do the final test of everything. Maybe it's executable that are then talking to other systems, and then how you can do a test of everything final. I'll come back to a little more, but first I will say who I am. I'm Anders. I started in 2008 with LabVIEW. Started in ePower technology. It was first called, then called Motors and stuff like that, where I did a lot of RT, I did a lot of single board. We did some strength training equipment, medical equipment, with a single board Rio as the main controller for the motor controller. It was motorized. And then I built it up on LabVIEW so I started actually with a real-time FPGA and then built it up to other. Later came Test Stand. As a small company, we were two people. It's going a little up and down, so sometimes there was not so much sale. Therefore, I started as a consultant, and then 2018 I went full time with LabVIEW Test Stand in Second In Electronics, and have done that the last years. Became NI partner last year as a consultant. And trying to stay ahead with that. You have different small, medium size, I would say, companies, but it can also be bigger companies who have a smaller part in Denmark who don't have a large LabVIEW team. It's more, if they have some smaller task in LabVIEW or Test Stand. Both production test, hardware in the loop test system, FPGA, single board Rio and stuff like that. I'm embedded developer from NI, and I'm a LabVIEW architect, using, of course, also these here to keep them updated. Then I will talk about why do we want UI testing of executables. We heard last time from Anton about module test. And I would say it's a supplement. There's a lot of things you can do in module test, but when you then take all the module and add to your final larger application, yes, and I was just seeing the chat if there's any no. Yes. When you then move everything together, maybe you have some external programs it's talking to, that then you can wrap everything up, make it finished for your customer, and then do a final test, also automated test in run by GitHub runners or Jenkins, or where you're running your automated test from. Also, if you have multi-platform, it's actually my reason with one of my customers to look into it, because we want to have the same running in Linux and Windows, and it's talking to other applications. So we want, when we push something, that it can be tested, both built and tested both in Windows and Linux, and with the whole system around, so we are sure when we do a change that everything is working. And if you have some application that can be configurable in different, so when you start it up, you can start up a lot of different VIs depending on the application. It's with manual test. I have seen that then either you need a very specific test sequence, and people are not doing that. So if you can do as much automated as possible, it is preferred. And also taking to the next one, if you then have this test here, and you, for example, this is a GUI for a hardware and simulation system. Then you can also use this system here to click on the different things, so you can do a complete system test of also your simulation or your hardware side of it. Yes, I will just have a look. Sorry about that. We forgot the agenda. I will just here the agenda. It was jumping through. I have talked about why UI testing, and then I will talk about the different principles, go a little into the code, and see how can you do it. I started looking at different things. You can use LabVIEW VI server. We will look at that. You can use also mouse control, so you can move the mouse around from LabVIEW. Use that. You can use the WinForm VPS. That's not supported in other applications. If you many Windows applications have used this VPS to tell where are the objects on the front panel on the GUI, and then you can use that to use mouse clicks. That is not supported in LabVIEW, so that is not. Or you can do this with taking a picture of the whole screen and then look for the button and then move the mouse to that, having more as external. It might work. I've also heard many people who have issues with that in LabVIEW, so therefore I have full control of the things we can do from LabVIEW. And then I will look at two out of the box products that can do some of this. I will look at SSL Drona and PyTest for LabVIEW, and then I will come with a conclusion about how I see it, and then I hope some of you also have tried something and can give some good feedback. We took that here. Then we are going back to the basic. How do we actually set a control or indicator? That is, if you have a reference to the VI, you can set a name and then you can get a control indicator, or you can set a control or indicator with an invoke message. So that's a basic. If you can then open, if you have the path to the VI, you can open the VI reference. We are taking it very basic here, and then there will come more on. I think some people are not so experienced in LabVIEW, so I will just take it slowly through. You will get that you can use the OpenVI reference to get a path to a VI. Then you can use these ones to set or get a control. And then if you want to do it inside an app, then you need to use the VI server to open an application reference. Here it is on a local host. It could also be on another PC. You need to specify a port, and then you can actually opening a reference to the application, and then in the application you can open a reference to the VI, and then you can set or get. Quite basic. It's also, if you search on ni.com, then this example here will come on. And then in the application, you need to open it for incoming via server calls, and specify a port, and then specify that you are opening from localhost or where you want to open it from. Yes. I will just list this one here. Yes. Another way I looked at, it's like the mouse click from LabVIEW. You can of course call the DLL. There is a Windows DLL. It's of course then only on Windows. I think there's some similar on Linux will come. And then you can move the mouse to somewhere and then click it and then release it. If you want to just click a button with some calling DLL. I don't think there's any direct in LabVIEW about it. And of course, then you need the position, and then you can use some for getting the position of a control. You can take the VI and stuff like that. It's more for references, and then of course you need the position of the VI on the screen to get that. To say where is this control, and then when you add everything up, you can know where on the screen the front panel is. So you can move the mouse over there and click and go back again. Yeah, and I will take then.
Sorry to interrupt, but just a quick note on the previous slide. You would also need to change from the panel to pane coordinates to screen coordinates and all, right? In here.
You also need what?
With the previous. I mean, you have panel to screen coordinates, panel to pane coordinates, pane to screen coordinates, and such, right? You have invoke nodes for that. You would need to do those translations. Otherwise, you will not be able to accurately click with the mouse.
Okay. I think I tested it well, but it's probably right. When you can also do it that way. Yeah. You're right. Yes. I will take SSL Drona. It's a GitHub. You will find there is some way to there is a good information here about how it's running. I will then take a demo, open it in here. I will just have a very simple one here. I have a very simple heater. I want to test. You can see when the heater is not on, then the temperature is falling. When I turn on the heat, then the temperature is rising. So just to make a very simple test of that, using the SSL Drona. In this VI, I'm first starting the Karaya unit test. It's Karaya unit test is built into SSL Drona. So if you want to use the VI tester, then you need to change the library. But on the GitHub page, you can just find or actually in VI Package Manager, you can just install the SSL Drona, and then you can start using it. On the GitHub page, you can find the whole source and get some examples. But you need to start the unit test. Then I have here two different. I can run it as a VI. We will see that first. And then you do a test where you first test that the VI is opening up and is the foremost VI in the application. Then you do a test that the heater is off and wait until the temperature is 0. The temperature here is going down to 0. And then you press the heat, and then you wait until the temperature is 150 degrees. And then you press stop simulation. There is in all these control VIs here, you can set different control or keyboard things. There's actually a lot of different things you can set. And in the read, you can also read a lot of values or properties. Or in VI, you can see if the VI was opening or how it was. So it have implemented a lot of different things. If we stop that one here, we can start running it. It's opening the test framework, and it should you could see the VI is opening and the heater is off, and then you can see the heat is increasing. We are waiting until it's coming to 150. It's doing it now, and then it's stopping the program, and everything is passed. This very simple VI here. Then if we want to do it in an executable, we take this one here, out here, and this one here. It's just before the meeting thought about, it's probably also possible to do it from the ini files. I forgot about that, but it's so writing the ini file together with the application. But here it's the one that NI is showing how to connect from VI server from application. And if we then build it, to be sure, yes, and then we can run it again as an exe file. Should ensure that we have enough time. Yeah, we are doing the same. Getting such one here. And we are having this one here. Yeah. You can see it's testing and it's then heating up again. And it's passing in some time, and it should pass that it's actually running. It's working out of the box. It's actually working very simple. So for LabVIEW developers, I think it's a very good way to do it here. Just with SSL Droner. If we then go back to this one here, then I will talk a little about the PyTest. I also stumbled upon there is also some old other automated UI tests, but they were so old and I couldn't really download them, so I've taken the big ones I found. The PyTest for LabVIEW. There you are running a LabVIEW daemon, and then you use ZeroMQ to talk to some Python functions. And if you don't know ZeroMQ, that's something like MQTT or actually WebSocket, where in a cross-platform where you can talk, send simple functions forth and back, via cross-platform. Yes, we can know there's also there's also a GitHub for that one here. It's also installed from NI Package Manager if you want to have it there. And the Python part is installed directly in Python with pip. And there's also some examples in general. We can look at how it's looking we will take this, then how the PyTest, the same test is looking in PyTest. Now it's LabVIEW, but we can also look at some text-based code. I start the application, then I'm here I'm waiting until this get foremost VI, get until the foremost VI in the application is the main VI. And there is in a timeout of 60 seconds until it's do that. And then I wait when the next one I wait. Normally PyTest, when you do PyTest, it's just executing all tests parallel. But in this kind of test, I want to have it in sequential, so therefore I use the dependencies. So this one here, it's waiting until the first one that have been running. And then I do the same test with zero temperature. Then I get the value of a front panel on the foremost. This is the foremost VI get value doubled. So I have the temperature, and then I want to get the temperature. And then I wait until the temperature is 0. And again, I have some timeout of 60 seconds. I can wait. And it's printing out. It can print out information. And then the next one, then I'm setting a value. Actually, in this library here, there is no way to set a Boolean. You can do something with a mouse click, but I've never got it to work very, very good in the way here I've done it. So if you want to use it out of the box, of course, everything is open source. It's quite easy to just add this functionality also to set a Boolean. But what I use here, set a doubled. If I want to heat, then I set it to 1. And then I again wait until the temperature is over something. And then I stop it also by setting a double to 1. And if we to do that, we just need to have a daemon running in the same application, because it's using the frontmost VI of the application where the daemon is running. So therefore, I needed to take it into my application, else it can't run. Of course, you can again change the how it's working, but I think the show here, it shouldn't be changing a lot. It should be seeing how it is how it's actually working out of the box. Let's see if we have. So then I have a couple of. I have some extra functions here. What I did is saying heat either if heat is on or the PyTest heat is larger than 0, and PyTest stop also if PyTest stop is larger than 0. Therefore, I can use that, and then I build the application again. Build. When it's building, I can just say that as it is now, when you download it, there is some broken VIs you need to fix, and maybe some functions that you need to get to work. Of course, what I should do is to then try and come with suggestions to the GitHub library and fix these things. I have not done that yet, but yeah, maybe I should do that. Then this one is then used for PyTest. We have the daemon here, and we have these new ones here. So, of course, it's a demo, so we will see if it's working. Hopefully, it should now work with when I then press PyTest, and then I want to have some logging information. And it's starting, it's waiting, and then it should start the application. It is starting the application. And then it can see it's getting the temperature, and it's getting the timeout value. So it's right now decreasing temperature until it's coming to 0. Then you can see the PyTest heat is set to 1. So it's heating, and then we are waiting until it's coming to 150 degrees. Yes, and it's coming in some time. Yeah, and then it's passed, and it's closing it again. Yeah. And then we will go back to this one. And if anybody have comments, you can, of course, just go in, because I'm not time to look so much at the chat. A little compare between the two. About SSL Drona, it is definitely, it's working out of the box. Just installing it is working. You could have more features, but you can then add some more features. You only have to develop in LabVIEW. It's something we like as LabVIEW developers. It's integrated with a Carrera test framework. It could also be a cons that you actually wanted to use another test framework, then you need to rewrite it yourself. It's running with no or a small add-on to the executable. You just need the VI server access, and you should probably be able to do that with an ini file. But at least you could just add this. You could also add it as a startup argument to executable, saying if I say like dash board something, then it's starting the VI server. It definitely works on Linux. It was one of the criteria for my development. Cons is that it is something that is just fine somewhere on GitHub, and there was a CLA Summit presentation for many years ago, at that time when they had CLA summits. So I was thinking 19 or something like that about it. And it doesn't seem to have been updated much since. So it is either you can take it in and just continue working. It's a MIT license, so you can just continue working with it, or you can start publishing new features to it. About PyTest, it's in my application here, where one of our customers, it's actually the customer of the customer is other C or Python developers in the company. So then suddenly they can other people in the company can write tests for the application. That's really an advantage. Because there's often some non-LabVIEW developers who want to use it. We want to use LabVIEW, but other people, it's maybe easier to get. And if you have an organization where there's more other non-LabVIEW developers. PyTest is really well known. It's really growing. And it should also work on Linux. I'm not tested. I can see when I install, it's requiring some .NET packages, but it's maybe only when I'm installing at Windows. So I need to test that. Cons. There is a broken VIs when you install it, so you need to go in and find some missing functions. And I'm miss some functions I can use, and you need quite a big part of code added to your executables. Maybe you could of course change that by rewriting the code, but as it is now, you need to put the daemon inside your executable to make it run. And again, this one here is also not a published, polished function. It's also something just find on GitHub. But I think both of them, for my customer, we will actually use both of them. One for LabVIEW developers to do the final test of the product, and then one for the customers who can then interact with the user interface from Python. There was a question about if SSL Droner does need, isn't it old because I have told about, do you still have the question? We are
So I was just wondering, in case you need to debug an exe that you build using LabVIEW, right? You need to set some settings, no? As in, I mean, allow LabVIEW to debug the exe or something, so it'll open the front panel in LabVIEW. So I've done this a long time back, so I do not remember the exact setting, but you do have to set some flags. So do you need to do that for the Droner method, or does it work out of the box?
I'm quite sure that you only need to add this one here. Or what I haven't tested is if that you might be able to just find out what it could be. Just add something in the ini file. Maybe somebody else can tell more about that together with the exe file. So it is you only need to, as what I could see, you only need to add these things here.
Okay.
Can I hear, have anybody done anything with testing of executables, and will anybody have a comment if it's something you're using or is good or are not using, or have anybody used did some automatic test of executables?
I have experience of it, but I didn't do it myself. I had a colleague who actually, it wasn't so much testing as it was a very complicated. What they used is they used the LabVIEW as an interface to the machine. The machine could all the switches, and they obviously weren't very good at programming, so they would switch these tests to run these manual tests manually, and it would take a guy quite a long time to set the settings up and then run the test. So they had all those button pushing on LabVIEW done by they recorded the clicks on a program that's a Windows-based program that records mouse clicks and
I know there's some that can record like macros, like clicks in different places. Yeah.
So the only issue is obviously synchronizing the screen size. You have to be a bit careful there. But they were using that successfully to run repeat tests on things. But they did admit it wasn't flexible. It was only good for doing the same thing again and again and again. And as soon as you wanted to edit something, you had to basically re-record. It's a bit like an audio tape. So it wasn't as flexible to say, oh, this wasn't programmatical. It was just recorded what you did. So it was nice because it was very easy to get going, but it was poor in terms of flexibility. But
yeah. Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't recommend it, but I would just say it's out there in case you're desperate.
Yeah, I would actually. What I have now, I've not started using it really on build pipeline, but what I've tested here, I think it's very positive because we have experienced that when everything is tested with some module test, and then you put it together, then it's not working, and then suddenly a customer is getting an application that can't run. So I for that I think it's good, and I'm very interested in if anybody else is working with it to share something.